I'm back. Project 3550, episode number 21. Sorry for the absence. It's been a couple of months since I've been on the YouTubes. And to be honest, I haven't missed it too much. I missed interacting with you guys, but I've really enjoyed, just having some time away from it. And the last couple of months have been, quite interesting. I've been able to really think about a lot of things, having a little bit of downtime, away from vlogging and some away from, in a sense, contest prepping because the Muscle Mayhem, that was supposed to be on July 17th, got pushed back to October 30th because of the COVID situation. That just basically allowed me some wiggle room, to pause the prep, take in a little more food, just get a little bit more relaxed. And, what I've realized, or I should say, what I've been thinking about, since having that downtime is kind of questioning, my motives and questioning my goals and asking myself, is this what I really want as far as, competing in 2020 and celebrating, 35 years of training and, celebrating 50 years of life on a bodybuilding stage. I had to do some soul searching. Right now, my passion for competing has kind of dwindled a little bit. Originally it was exciting, like Project 3550, like, 35 years of training, 50 years on planet Earth, getting on stage shredded, showing everybody, hey, even with this many miles on your body and being this age, you can still be one of the best. And I kind of realized over the last couple of months that 3550 is just a number. And what really matters is my overall happiness and overall well-being. And, getting on stage and being shredded doesn't necessarily define my happiness. When I look back on all the 30 plus shows that I've done, it's almost like a temporary happiness. Like, hey, I got on stage, I'm shredded. Hey, I did well at this show. And, you get the oohs and ahs, you get the external praise, some of your peers giving you the high fives. You get a lot of likes on Instagram and all that cool stuff. But that eventually fades. Glory fades, then you're kind of just left with, okay, here I am back in the gym and I'm training again. And that's where the love is at for me is, in the training. And the last couple of months, my training has really skyrocketed and my progress has just been going really, really well. My ability to increase loads, my ability to increase reps, my ability to recover from the training, like everything is just firing on all cylinders. And what I've seen in my physique the last couple months is out of that fullness. And I look the way, I perceive it as I look probably the biggest I've looked, really close to maybe my all-time best. So that had me kind of thinking like, okay, if I go back into competition mode and I start dieting again, I'm going to be dieting for the rest of the year, all the way to Worlds in November. And no doubt, there's no chance at all that I'm going to improve muscle mass while dieting down for a show. So in a sense, I'm acutely improving because I'm getting leaner, but as far as improving my actual physique from a big picture perspective, no chance or opportunity there at all. I know I'm getting older, and I know the window of opportunity for competing is still there. Like I can probably compete probably into my late 50s, maybe even 60 on a decently high level. So there's plenty of opportunity ahead of me to prep again. But the opportunity to improve muscle mass, I think that window is very slim. Especially again, I'm going to be 50 years old in June, and I know a lot of people are probably going to say, Jeff, come on, you've been training for 35 years. You're almost 50 years old. Chances of you, getting bigger is probably not very likely. And there might be some truth to that, but I would like to think that I still have potential. And I think when the mindset shifts away from, that drive, that passion to get better, then you kind of have to ask yourself, okay, what's the point of training? And I'm sure, at some point I'm going to realize like, okay, yeah, that my potential has been fulfilled. And I'll probably shift my mindset. I'll shift my training around. Okay, I'm doing this more for health, for the enjoyment factor. But right now, I still have a little bit of competitive drive in me. So again, if this is my last hurrah as far as having an off season, then I'd rather spend my energy and spend my time chasing that versus chasing the shreds right now. So I've decided to pull the plug on my prep this year. Another part of the reason of pulling the plug on the prep, and the most important part, mind you, in 2020, the COVID situation, it obviously all of us have been impacted greatly by it. And for me personally and my family, it's definitely been harder. I haven't really been able to do a whole lot, just like many of you haven't been able to do a whole lot. So, in a sense, we've been pretty restricted. And I'm kind of hoping, fingers crossed, that later in the year things look a little more normal. So if that's the case, what I don't want to be doing when things are better is to be dieting and, in a sense, partaking in a little bit more of a selfish endeavor. Like, obviously, contest prep, it's invasive. No matter how good I can balance out contest prep and life, which I do think I've gotten better over the years and I'm pretty good at it, but it still requires a huge commitment. It requires sacrifice. And of course, naturally, the people around you are going to feel the effects of it. I'm going to be a little more involved with my family. I want to be there, like more present. And obviously, when you're dieting, it's really hard to do that at 100%. So I think continuing on with what I'm doing right now, keeping my body weight in the low 190s, maybe mid 190s at most, taking in obviously more calories than I was, making sure my protein intake is adequate, and keep my training progressive, making sure I'm recovering. We'll see if in fact, I can maybe prove some of the doubters wrong. Like, oh shit, that guy was able to actually improve his physique and add a little bit more size at the tender age of 50. And he got on stage at the age of 51 and got pretty shredded and did pretty well. So again, it's not that I'm quitting. I'm not quitting. I just think sometimes you have to look at, like, especially with contest prep, you have to look at the pros and cons and weigh everything out. And, having a pause in this prep, and I think it was kind of a blessing in disguise. And it's had me thinking pretty deep and pretty hard about what makes me tick and what brings happiness to me. And I know deep down, like, if I was to push this prep out, I don't think I would be fully committed, and I don't think I would put the 100% effort that would be required to bring my all-time best shape this year. And something that resonated with me in our last team meeting, I brought this all up with the coaches. We talked about it for quite some time. Each coach had their own perspective and opinion to offer, and I value their perspectives. In so many words, Eric said, hey, I'm not sure, if you can put muscle on or not, but we do know that you're not going to regress. Like, it's going to take you quite a while for you to actually see regression. So even if worst case scenario, you try to put muscle on, you fail at it, you're still going to have basically the same physique you have now. So even when you start dieting next year, you're still going to be in a great position, and kind of help to solidify the decision to wait until next year to prep. And then Brad reassured me and gave me confidence. He's like, hey, Jeff, I seen those pictures when you're in old Sacramento that you posted up on Instagram, and you look huge. Even though I probably had some favorable angles in those pictures, but still, it's nice to hear that from someone who's pretty well experienced, has been in the trenches himself a very long time. So it was a nice confidence boost, and it kind of reassured what I was kind of thinking as far as, not dieting. He just said, Jeff, don't diet. Basically keep training and don't lose weight. Just keep doing what you're doing and diet next year. And then Alberto, he had a great perspective. He basically told me, "Hey Jeff, your son, he watches every move, and which is true. As a father, your kids, they put you under you're under a microscope basically." And he said, "Hey, if as far as the competitiveness goes, you're modeling things and." He's going to grow up and he's going to have to earn a lot of things, and it's a competitive world out there. So, he's going to model what you're doing. And that's the thing. If I was to finish this prep out this year, I don't think I was going to be able to, fully commit 100%, give my 100%. I don't want my son to see that. And even though, you can look back at my contest history and all those preps, there was a lot of success there, and I did grind and I did earn everything I got. But still, right now, everything is fresh in the moment and he's seeing everything. So I would rather prefer to have him see me give it my all next season. So again, a valuable perspective. And then Andrea, of course, gave some great insights as well. She's good at, helping me talk myself through things, making sure that I'm making the sound decision and having me think. And, again, that helped out tremendously. And definitely have come to the conclusion that this is the best decision for myself, is to not prep this year, see if I can improve, and come back next year, hopefully a little bit better. And I guess, if I can give advice to you guys, like here I am, 35 years into training, an older fella, and I'm realizing that if I want to fulfill potential as far as, improving my overall performance, improving, muscle mass and what have you, that I can't do it, when I'm dieting. I got to do it, when I'm in a conducive environment to be able to do that. And that is making sure I'm elevating performance, making sure that I'm able to recover from it, and that I'm well fueled, plenty of food coming in, and a decent body weight, body fat level that keeps me very pliable. And not to mention, when you're eating a little bit more and you're a little fluffier, not fat, but a little fluffier, you can enjoy the social aspects of life a little bit more, without that pressure or that stress of worrying about the aesthetic side of things. So that's kind of where I'm at, and I'm going to close this series out. I'm going to end this series with this episode, and I just want to say thanks for watching, the 21 episodes. Hopefully you guys have learned a lot, and I do my best to keep it real, when things go well, when they don't go well, but just like to, express myself and share my experience. So hopefully you guys have enjoyed it. Any questions, any comments, leave those below, and I'll do my best to get back to you.